Once, in a city of marble towers and spires kissed by clouds, there lived a boy named Edward. He was the youngest bloom of the House of Velt, a lineage so proud their name was carved into fountains, whispered in gilded courts, and sung by poets who longed for coin. The Velts were renowned for their wealth, refinement, and unyielding devotion to expanding their empire. Much like one tends a garden, each generation was cultivated like rare orchids. But Edward was different. Though raised with lace and gold, his heart beat to a humbler tune. He often slipped beyond the iron gates of the estate, wandering cobbled streets where wood smoke curled in the air and laughter from low windows carried a warmth no palace ever knew. It was there, on a crooked little lane of leaning houses, that he first saw her. Lena, a girl of wind-blushed cheeks and calloused hands, whose eyes, dark and unflinching, seemed to see through every mask in the world. She folded paper into birds that seemed alive, each one light as breath, and she sold them for a single coin. But it was not her craft alone that drew Edward close. It was her voice. She sang as she worked, a sound like starlight poured into a mortal throat. Her songs coaxed color from the gray streets and made weary vendors pause their haggling to listen. Edward bought a bird that day, then another and then another, and soon she no longer asked for payment. They met in secret under the glow of lanterns and frost-laced eaves. They spoke of dreams, of stars, and of how love might grow even in the barren soil of nothingness. At night, when the city's lights guttered out one by one, Lena's songs would drift softly through the hush. Beneath the winter moon, they sat by the great fountain of fish and turtles, her voice weaving spells into the frosted air. Her gown was threadbare, her face streaked with the dust of long days, but Edward saw only beauty, as though no grime could ever dull her light. One evening, emboldened by love, Edward asked her to dine at the Velt estate. At 6 bells the following night, Lena arrived in her best gown. She spent all day scrubbing out old stains and pressing it until there was not a single wrinkle. The feast was a wonder fit for kings and princes. The table groaned beneath roasted duck glazed with cranberry and orange, golden Duchess potatoes stacked like little crowns, and a pineapple cake so sweet it seemed summer itself had been baked within it. Lena, though unaccustomed to such splendor, carried herself with the quiet dignity of the wildflowers, humble yet unbowed. She ate with care, spoke with gentleness, and smiled as Edward's parents, Benedict and Augusta, bombarded her with a flurry of questions, their voices smooth as silk but heavy with hidden weights. They asked of what trade she was seeking, how she liked living in the city their family had established, what the people of the town thought of them, and many other things that gratified them more, for each answer was but a mirror in which they sought their own grandeur. At length Edward broke their shallow chatter. His eyes softened as he turned to her. "Where did you learn to sing so sweetly, as though the wind itself lent you its voice?" "My father," Lena says, her voice like warm bread on a winter night. "He is a musician. Each day he plays his violin in the town square. From my youngest years, he has taught me to weave melody, as he weaves his bow across the strings." "He plays for coins, then?" Augusta asks, her tone sharp as a knife slipped between ribs. "No, madam," Lena replies. "He plays for the people, shopkeepers, children, travelers. Some offer coins, yes, but many offer thanks and smiles. Among the merchants, he is held in great regard." Benedict leans forward, eyes curious. "Tell me, what of your family's holdings? Their investments? Their wealth?" "With respect," says Lena, keeping her gaze steady though her cheeks burned, "I do not see how my family's possessions concern the matter of courtship." "It has everything to do with it," growls the man. "Courtship is no fleeting fancy. It is a sowing for the future. Without secure investments, the harvest will fail." "Our visions of success may differ," says Lena, her hands folded neatly in her lap. "But my parents have always provided for our home. We have known need, yes, but never hunger of the soul." Edward opens his mouth, seeking to steer the storm to calmer shores, but his mother's voice strikes the room like a blast of icy wind through a January window. "You seem a lovely girl," she says coldly, "but I forbid this relationship from taking root." "Mother!" Edward cries, leaping to his feet. How can you speak so? This family, she declares, rising like a queen before her court, has labored through generations to shape a world of refinement and intellect. It is wit and will that elevate us above the, how shall I say, simple-minded. She is not simple-minded. Edward's voice cracks with fury. She is ordinary. Her father's father played in the streets. Her father does the same. And so will she, forever bound to small lives and smaller dreams. Is that the future you wish for your son? Begging scraps for your children? Tears shimmer in Lena's eyes, but her voice does not tremble. Have you ever felt the joy of children dancing to the music you make? No, Augusta says, nor the shame of sending a child to bed hungry or to a party they were excited about in stained clothes. Lena flees the table, her tears falling silent upon the marble floors. Edward runs after her, catching her in the foyer. Wait, don't go. My father is a great man, she whispers brokenly. Then let's leave. I need no one but you. Meet me under the bridge at midnight. She presses her trembling hand to his cheek, then vanishes into the cold. But Edward never reached the bridge. His father listened to their plan from around the corner and locked him in his chamber. Edward beat the walls until his hands ran red, but no escape came. At dawn, his mother appears in morning gray, a newspaper folded in her grasp. I thought you should see this, she says. The headline struck like a blade, Young Woman Found Dead in River. A crude sketch depicts a girl in a simple dress, her limbs entangled in reeds. They say she slipped on the frozen stones beneath the bridge, she murmurs. Such a pity. She walks away, leaving him there with his grief. Years passed. Edward never wed. In winter, when snow cloaked the city in silence, he often walked the old bridge where lanterns no longer burned. Some nights, beneath a full moon, he swore he saw her eyes open, drifting under the glassy ice, waiting still. Though the papers named it accident, Edward never learned whether it was frost or the coldness of his mother's heart that stilled Lena's song. One truth haunted him all his life. The obligations of the mind will always triumph over the passions of his heart.